Welcome to Girls on Film with Chapman Radio.
Follow us on our socials at Girls on Film Radio.
What is up?
Hey guys.
Girls on Filmers.
Girls are on film. Hey guys, welcome back to Girls on Film. No filter, no boys, just two Dodge girls talking about the films that we want to talk about. Hi, Maddie.
This is funny because we actually are starting at a good time. We have the stream on the Chapman Radio YouTube going right now. So if you want to see us as we're talking, as we're kikiing in the studio.
Yes, and our microphones are working on the stream, I just checked.
Yes.
So you will be able to hear us.
And watch us.
Yes.
So again, this is like the first proper time that we're officially using this streaming kind of thing.
Because we started a little late
Yes,
last week.
and hopefully for the rest of the season and just for the rest of the show onward, we'll be able to stream
this.
everyone.
I know my
So-
parents like watching us. So.
Yeah, so go on the Chapman Radio YouTube to go watch us.
The link is in our bio also.
Yeah.
So. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We keep pushing off the Euphoria episode.
Okay,
It's all Maddie's fault.
it is my fault, but it's also because right now it's
She's
like
busy.
exam and midterm season, and it's super gnarly. And tonight I have a very scary psych exam, so there was no Euphoria for me this week.
Sorry,
And I'm
guys.
sorry.
But we do have a fun episode. I'm very excited about this episode. For our Ted Lasso fans, one of the characters, Roy, is played by Brett Goldstein, and he's also one of the writers for the show. And he has a podcast where he brings on different celebrities, and he'll, interview them, talk about their life a little bit, and then he'll say they died. He'll tell his guest, "You have died. You are now in heaven. All the people in heaven are so excited to see you. They are so excited to hear about your life, but they want to hear about it through movies." And so he asked them a series of questions, and those are the questions we are going to answer today. But before we get into that, if you don't follow us on Instagram already, at Girls on Film Radio, do that, please.
Yes.
We post a lot of fun stuff on there, and then also go follow Chapman Radio on Instagram. I feel like that's another thing, and Chapman Radio on YouTube.
Exactly. And also, again, we had like a little reminder last episode, but the Chapman Radio Awards are coming up soon. Next month. We don't really know any of the big details yet, but
Yes. There will be
just-
a Google form that
Yes.
you guys can fill out.
and it's open to all and any Chapman student. You don't have to be involved with
Yes.
radio at all. So keep your eyes peeled. Just know that Girls on Film
Is the best talk show ever.
ever
to
best
exist
entertainment show ever that has ever graced the studio. So keep your eyes peeled, because we're probably going to forget to remind you guys again. So this is like a very early
Yes,
reminder.
because we definitely forgot last time. But I think we're
Oh.
back into it now.
Yeah, and I think our 100 followers are familiar with us
yeah,
now.
yeah,
So,
our best fans.
I think hopefully we'll win something.
Maybe. I feel like it. Okay, so what I love about doing this episode now is I think when we do, go through all these questions that Brett Goldstein would ask us if we were famous and dead, is that we can probably do this in the future. And maybe we could do it
it'll
every year.
change.
Not every year, that's a little too much. And maybe once in a while where we're like, oh, this is a reflection on the
Well-
films that we've watched recently.
Or like if we're thinking about the longevity of the show, it'd be
I-
cool to come back senior year
Literally.
and redo it again. That would be very, very awesome.
Very fun. So for the purpose of this episode, please pretend that me and Maddie are long into our film careers. If you're watching the YouTube live stream, Maddie's reenacting it for us, a screen acting
I'm
major,
dead.
if you will. Pretend we are famous in our film careers, and at the end of our careers, we die, and then this is what happens. Our whole film career is based on this podcast episode. So you have died. You are
I'm
dead.
actually deceased.
How have we died, Maddie? This is something that Brett Goldstein also asks. How have we died?
I don't want to say something too morbid, but
I just watched I listened to Judd Apatow's episode on his podcast, and he said he fell down the stairs because he was trying not to trip on his cat, and so instead he fell down the stairs.
the Apatows do have many cats.
They do. They have like 5.
I don't
4.
want to be like hella morbid, but like,
I don't
do
know.
I want people to see me like really old and die from old age?
I was thinking for you like a paper cut.
No,
Like
and
a paper cut, just bleed out.
That's actually like literally one of my number one fears is getting a very minor like
Yeah.
some sort of health thing and then
Yeah.
just immediately perishing from it. I don't know how I would die. A peanut allergy. Someone. I'm super famous and awesome, and I'm not only a writer, a screenwriter, but I'm also a food critic on the side. Then suddenly someone laces my food not only with peanuts, but with every juice and blood from every animal ever, and suddenly I just die from anaphylactic and too much meat.
That is
shock.
so detailed. Wow, Maddie, that was really good.
And I died again. My reenactment for the third time.
That was really good. I'm
How
trying to
does
think.
Izzy die?
I don't know. What would I do that would cause me to like? I'm trying to think. I stray away from the things that could possibly cause me death.
No, you. I think that maybe you're like. You work your. I don't want to. That's so.
I work myself to death.
Yeah, work yourself to the bone. You're like you close yourself off until in this like dark ass room, no windows, no light
That's
ever.
very artistic
And then
of me.
you-
That's very like I'm a film person.
Yeah, and then suddenly, and like you lose track of time completely. No food, no water, perishes.
I was about to write a script like that where the girl does whatever. But okay, so I die in my own office of my home.
But would that be of you being? Is that like you at a young age, or you like
old? No, I'm thinking old. I'm not old, middle.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't think an old person would do that.
I've reached the peak of my career, and I just am overworking myself on this sci-fi film that I'm working on, and it's just like
or like. What is that Nick Cage thing that you want to see so badly? Like it's your last job. Like you have not been. It has just not been going good. That you just need like your one last thing. But your last thing is your last thing.
Oh gosh.
Ever.
Well, that's how we died, everyone. Sad, tragic deaths. But we're now in the afterlife.
And it's actually Chapman Radio Studio.
This radio studio.
Yeah.
So we're in the afterlife. And the people of the afterlife are just so excited to see us because we were so famous when we were alive.
We're in hell, actually, because we're tattooed.
That's so true. We are actually in hell, and everyone in hell wants to know what our life was like through movies. And the first question that we get to ask each other is, what is the first film you remember seeing? Do you want to go first, Maddie?
This is so funny. I don't know if my parents are listening or watching, but apparently when I was younger, I was a very picky eater and I would not eat anything. And the only way that I would literally eat is if my parents I am not being a troll. I am not being like an annoying internet person. Dead ass. They would have to put like Shrek on and I would watch Shrek. And that's the only way that I would eat because as punishment, if I wasn't like eating, I would be like, this is so bad.
No,
but my parents would like literally put me in the garage with the lights off and I would just have to sit there.
Is that child abuse?
Well, look at now she's a food girl, so I guess
she's
it worked.
Food baby.
But
that's a good story.
No, Shrek, and apparently my mom has told me that it isn't just like the English version. Like they would also put on like it in Spanish too.
As if couldn't understand it.
No, as if I couldn't understand it in any other language.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The green ogre was just so fascinating. It ticked off all of my visual cues that I needed I don't even know how old we were. What that came out 2006? I don't know.
Like that.
3 years old.
Yeah.
Shrek.
That's a good one. Well, I had trouble answering this one because the first movie that my parents ever took me to see in the theaters was Nemo. I don't remember that. I don't remember anything. I must have bad memory because I was asking my mom and she was like, yeah, you watched like Rudolph a lot in the car. Like we had one of those car TVs.
I was always
She was
jealous
like,
of
you
kids
loved
that had
Yukon
that.
Cornelius. You loved Yukon Cornelius. And then I was like, I don't remember any of this stuff. So the first movie that I have like a physical like or a mental memory, like I can picture it in my mind watch this movie, is The Corpse Bride on my 8th birthday. And I don't know if that's too late. I can't remember watching movies beforehand. I only know because people tell me. Like if my mom hadn't had told me I watched The Lion King, like I wouldn't have said that was the first movie that I've ever watched, or Nemo. Like I wouldn't know.
Yeah, me too.
But the first movie that I remember seeing was The Corpse Bride on my 8th birthday. I went to Blockbuster. I bought that and some other movie that I don't remember, and I watched it with my friends, and I watched it, and then they all went to bed, and then I watched it again on that same day. And it's my favorite movie till this very moment. So
that's true.
I don't know. That's like the first memory that I have.
I'm trying to think of anything. Yeah, same thing with me. I have no actual recollection of me sitting in some. I looked it up. The movie came out in 2001, so it would have been very yeah.
Okay.
So it was like very early on.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who says they remember anything
You're
prior
lying.
to 5 years old, you're a fat liar, and you're just trying to impress people, even though everyone knows that you're a fat liar.
Yeah.
So same thing with me. I don't actually have any memory of me watching this, but it's just through stories of being told it. But I'm trying to like recall anything from like my actual childhood that I have seen. And like I'm trying
hard.
I'm trying to think of like the really young ones.
Hard.
No, but I do remember when I was younger, I would go to like the movie theaters often with my dad and my stepmom, and I remember watching like Night at the Museum and like Wall-E and like those kinds of movies, but that was like 6 and 7. So does that count again?
It's like you remember that because you were told, and is it actually a memory? Or are you only remembering it because someone told you about the event?
I do remember. Okay, kind of, yeah. Because I remember watching Night at the Museum, like all of them with my parents in the theaters, but for every single one, my dad and I would always both fall asleep. And isn't there like 3 of them?
Yeah.
So for every single one, I remember being told, like, why are we watching this when I know you guys are not going to last through the whole thing? Because I want to see Robin Williams on a horse. Duh. And Rami Malek, this small. I want to see little, right? He was like a little, and Owen Wilson.
Wait. Owen Wilson was,
Owen Wilson was the tiny cowboy, and then Rami Malek was like
normal size Egyptian
and the
man.
bubblegum. Yeah, that.
Well, those are our first movies you remember seeing. The second question is, what's the film that scared you the most? I had trouble answering this question because I don't get scared. Like, I was looking back at like my Letterboxd promo for Letterboxd because this is how I found all my answers.
Me too.
I looked back at all these horror movies. I looked up a bunch of horror movie lists, and I was reading off things. I was like, these didn't scare me. They were just like scary movies, I guess.
Yeah,
but they didn't like scare me. And so I had trouble picking ones that actually scared me. And then when I think of scared, I think of, did I get a jump scare, or was I like scared of the idea of it?
Yeah, like you can't turn the corner to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
So I have a few answers because I could not pick. I put like The Lighthouse, which I think isn't a scary movie to watch. It's just
like subliminal and weird.
Yeah. I have 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably one of the scarier ones that I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it was scary. I have Hereditary.
Yeah.
And I have Devil. Now, I put Devil on this list. I forgot about this movie for a while. Devil is... You're going to have to look up Devil movie. It won't come up. Devil is about 5 people that get stuck in an elevator, and one of them is the devil, but none of them are, all of them are saying, I'm not the devil. I'm not the one who got us stuck in this elevator. Yeah. And so all the people outside the elevator are trying to get them out, while one by one the people in the elevator start dying because of the person who is the devil in this elevator. And I just remember thinking, like, anytime I get in the elevator here, I think of that movie. I'm like,
that's not me. It's not me. We have survived going in the elevator
multiple
together,
times.
So we're
but
fine.
Again, it's like, I don't know if that was, I haven't watched it in a while. I don't know if that was scary or if it's just the scary thought of that movie that makes me remember it. I like your answer for this one.
I think for me, I do obviously, like, I hate jump scares, like, and I love, like, horror movies. I don't like jump scares because I feel like it's a cheap and easy way to get someone scared. I love, like, the subliminal, like, suspenseful scary. That's the kind of stuff that, like,
Hereditary
jumps me to my bones. That's why it's one of my favorite movies. And also because I'm a freak of nature. But I play Human Centipede because I know I watched it way too young.
Same.
No, dead ass. Like, my mom took me to, like, some Halloween party when I was younger, and I was only, like, 8 or 9. And I was, like, the only kid there, and I was dressed in, like, a cute little, like, kid's costume. And that was, of course, because they could not make it, like, oh, we're going to plan a super cool, awesome Halloween party. And then play, like, a Halloween movie for
Nightmare
kids.
Before Christmas.
No, literally. Like, so they were playing Human Centipede. And, like, I remember sitting there.
Vivid memories of watching this in my loft when my parents were downstairs.
No, it's
gross.
No, it's
if
like,
you haven't seen it, don't.
No, don't. It's in the same kind of like realm of scary movies as like that one Teeth movie is, or like the girls like.
I was thinking Saw.
Oh, and Saw.
Teeth movie.
Isn't it? It's like her privates become like a mouth, and there's.
I do not remember what you were talking about, and I'm actually scared. I don't think I've ever heard about that.
No, it is. There's something like.
I would put Human Centipede.
It's literally
and Saw.
called Teeth. Should I read what?
Do it.
Thing? Dawn, who's played by Jess Wexley. I don't know who this is. Is an active member of our high school chastity club.
Oh God!
But when she meets Toby, nature takes its course, and the pair answer the call.
Oh
They suddenly learn she is a living example of the vagina Denatia myth, where the encounter takes a grisly turn.
Y'all hearing this?
No, literally.
Y'all hearing this?
It's in the same. That's why I'm saying like Human Centipede and this
gross.
kind of are just like a gross like bodily.
That's fantasy
horror.
though. Human Centipede could like very much happen if someone was crazy, which is why I think it's scary in thought, not scary in jump scare. Don't look up what it is.
No, yeah,
it's gross.
I think that's
a good answer though.
Why am I just thinking about this now and all this weird stuff?
Okay, what was the film that made you cry the most? People tell me that I cry at a lot of movies. I watch so many movies and cry at so little of them. I just post on my private story on Snapchat when I cry.
That's true. She
does.
So
I watch so many movies and so many TV shows that the ones that I cry at are the ones that are good, and those are the ones that I will share.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I don't it takes a lot for me to cry. I say that a lot. It takes a lot for me to cry at a movie because I think I'm like numb to it now.
Yeah, because it's not to say that like people aren't coming up with a very
sad
unique
ideas
and sad stories, but like most of the themes for all of this stuff is like the same recycled stuff, like either heartbreak or like family drama.
But
or
I cried for Coda when I watched Coda, but that wasn't like tears falling down my face for days. You know what I'm saying? It was just like I was in the moment. I was like crying, and it was a sad movie, and I thought it was great. But my answers for this, I have a few because I couldn't pick. My Brother Jordan is a documentary that came out a while ago. It's free on YouTube, like 2 years ago. And I saw it, I think I saw it on TikTok or Instagram. Some guy made a documentary about his brother who passed away. And it's, you know, not anyone well known.
Yeah.
Some kid who had a brother and his brother died, and it's the story of his life and interviews with his family. And I literally was bawling for days because I wanted to meet this man so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's a great documentary.
No, and documentaries are different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very sad.
Film.
But my other ones are 5 Feet Apart.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't like the movie and if you think it's cheesy. I cry constantly. I cried at the book. I cried at the movie with my mom. Mom, I know you're listening. We cried. Emotional. So good. I thought it was a great movie. Next, obviously, Stuck in Love.
Yeah.
Are we surprised? Are we surprised?
No.
Are we surprised? That's just a sad movie. I think the first time I watched it, I was definitely like very sad.
No, me too.
But you know, once you watch it over and over again, it gets a little less sad.
And it's not. It's like the sad because it's like everything is lining up perfectly for certain people, and then it just doesn't work out. It's like that kind of sad, which sometimes hurts even more than like the someone's dead. No.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then I think I have a bunch of runner-ups. Like I put Interstellar as a runner-up because I did cry, but I don't think it's a sad emotional movie as much as the other ones.
Yeah.
My last one that'll transition to my is Brokeback Mountain.
Duh.
Y'all, I'm telling you, like this is one of those movies that like if you don't cry, you don't have feelings.
No, dead ass.
And again, it could be it wouldn't be cast the same way if it was made today.
Mm-mm.
But every time I go back and watch that movie,
Why
I'm
are you
blown
watching
away.
It multiple times.
Well, I've watched it. I had
for school and then just personal. Okay.
Yeah, like I watched it for myself. I had to rewatch it because I was so sad that I wanted to watch it again, and then I have to watch it soon for Film with Six. But it's like
you haven't watched it yet.
No, I think it's this week or next week. But yeah, it's a freaking sad movie.
It is so good.
No, it is heartbreaking. It is like ripping your bones apart.
Yeah,
it is so sad.
Ugh.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. I have no words. This is why we're watching it in class, even though, quote unquote, it kind of almost would be considered like a contemporary movie because it was made in like the 21st century.
Yeah.
But like,
so good.
But
if you don't cry, you
no
just
emotion. Don't have feelings, and you're not. You're
empathy.
not an empath.
You are not an empath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madie. Okay. My first one was This is in the same realm as like a normal people kind of situation.
Okay.
Which it's this movie called Celeste and Jesse Forever, and it has Rashida Jones and Andy Samberg in it. And I don't know if you're the same way, but I would hyperfixate on a specific celebrity and then just watch everything in there. And that was in my Andy Samberg era, as I still kind of am. But it's the whole situation where like two characters grew up being in love with each other, and then they grew into their like adulthood with each other.
Love Rosie.
No, but then they're kind of figuring out that like they're only holding on to each other because they know they have some sort of stability, but they both know that they want to explore different things. It's like the normal people kind of thing where like.
So it would make me cry.
Yeah, basically
a lot.
That.
Okay.
And then I also
That's the same genre of movie that makes me cry.
No, exactly. And then like Andy Samberg's just so cute and like and then Rashida Jones is beautiful, and like I was reading through the Letterboxd kind of like reviews and comments, and I think someone said that like I don't remember this, but obviously they're like young adults, so they're like smoking and like hitting like hella big bongs and stuff. Apparently like Chris Pine or someone is in it for like 6 seconds, and all he's doing is like smoking in it.
Okay, I'm looking that up.
Which is so good. It's one of the actors. I don't remember.
One of the Chris's?
Probably. But then the other one that I wrote outside of like
he's just in the corner,
just literally smoking, which is so
that's
good.
So funny.
But like the other film outside of also Brokeback Mountain, and then I also wrote Ghost because that I remember watching that on a plane, and I was like sobbing my eyes out, and like I couldn't do anything because I was literally in the freaking window seat. I can't leave. I also wrote Atonement because the whole it's the whole thing of the situation being inescapable and being at the hands of someone who doesn't understand the gravity of what they did.
And then they throw that freaking twist at the end of it, and you're like, what the hell? I went through all that emotion for nothing?
Boots.
I went through all that emotion, and it's even sadder.
For her to,
So
It's such a good movie. There's a big twist. I won't spoil it. It's a very good twist.
It's like, but if you haven't seen it too,
yeah, it's a whole story, and then you realize that half of it is fake.
yo, oh God, it's so good. These are like, we can't say so much because it's the reason why we need you to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I was not prefaced with this stuff before I watched it, and that's why it hits so good.
Okay, what film is terrible but you love it? I guess the more popular answer is National Treasure. I love National Treasure, and people don't not enjoy it. It's just not their favorite, and I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time because it's just so good, and I love it.
Aren't they remaking something?
Yeah, the Disney Plus series.
Is it like a cute young guy they're making?
Yeah, it's Antonio Cipriano from.
Is that gonna hit the same for you though?
Yeah, it's gonna hit. Oh yeah.
Or is it gonna? It's gonna be even better.
The guy who plays the assistant in the original movies is reprising his role.
Okay, that's.
But then the other one that I guess is the worst movie is The Host with Saoirse Ronan and the guy from Percy Jackson, the Luke guy. He's in it too. Blonde one. It is probably the lowest rated movie I have on my favorites list, like of my favorite movies ever. It's an alien movie, but sci-fi, romance, double romance. It's literally a love square. I don't know how to describe it because
that makes sense to me.
No, because it's two guys, but then the girl, but then it's her, and then the alien that's living inside of her. So it's like
the alien inside her wants love too.
The alien inside of her loves the blonde boy. It's crazy. And then she loves the other guy. It's a whole thing. I love it. I love romance mixed with sci-fi. It's a great movie, but people hate it because they think it's bad.
I don't know. Venom type B. Okay,
yours.
What film is terrible but you love it? I went through this like weird phase. I go through always like weird phases with the things that I watch outside of just the hyperfixation on celebrities. There's like always like very specific niche like genres within different stuff. And there's like this weird niche within comedy films that it's like just fake very raw those kind that like mockumentaries and then like really raunchy like gross sex stuff, and the To-Do List is one of them, but I'm putting it on here that I love it because it's one of the only ones at least that I have watched that was directed and written by a woman. And the
it's Aubrey Plaza. Okay.
Because Aubrey's in it. But basically, the premise of it is that this girl, Aubrey Plaza, she's about to leave for college, and she's like really smart, and like she didn't really do anything in high school, book smart type beat, but like she wants to do all of this like
cool stuff. Her summer bucket list.
But like her sex summer bucket list before she leaves for school.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
her Ramona and Beezus summer bucket list.
No, not like that. But I'm saying it in terms of like what film is terrible but you love it. Terms terrible because it's like
subjective.
It's subjective. Yeah, that's
what
the best.
What is terrible to you?
Exactly. So like, is it the most like subversive, most intellectually engaging film? No, but it's like easy, funny stuff. And Aubrey Plaza is in it. Freaking Rachel Bilson is her sister. Rachel Bilson and Bill Hader have this like weird little thing. It's so funny.
Johnny Simmons, a niche actor.
Oh my God. And then because of this,
Andy
and
Samberg.
then I also went into a Johnny Simmons little obsessive thing. And then he's also like in Scott Pilgrim and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, besides that, wait, where even is this? Oh, Pops. Okay.
This is also Andy Samberg.
This is the same thing. Like, which film is quote unquote terrible, but I love it? I don't think it's terrible. I think it's just that like people don't like mockumentary stuff because they think it's corny and weird. Yeah. But Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping is literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
My list.
It is so good. And you know, I do not like films that have music in it.
She
or like
does not.
singing.
She does.
I hate it. The Lonely Island's the only exception because they make just the stupidest but most fun, actually catchy music. And it's basically where Andy Samberg is like a Justin Bieber type character. And then it just follows like his progression throughout his career. But then it shows that he like abandoned his ex like little boy band group that he was in to like have his own solo career.
It's drama
but then
filled.
And then they're trying to like get them all together.
It's like Daisy Jones and the Six, but funny.
But funny and like rap, and it's just so good. And Andy Samberg has tattoos in it, and it's so
with movies like that, it's like people that don't like it are comparing it to The Godfather. It's like it's not trying to. Yeah. It's not trying to be that. It's trying to be stupid.
It's trying to be its own thing.
There's a time and a place for everything, and that has its own time and place.
And like this is just me exposing myself. But I was on like SNL, Lonely Island Twitter, like prior to kind of whenever the year It Part 2 came out, it was like prior to that, like the 2 summers before that, I was on there, and this was like one of the big films that everyone had seen and was like always collectively talking about, because not only did we have like a group of celebrities that are in it that we all love, it's also The Lonely Island, and then the movie is also good, and then we also have music. So it's like just extra overload of content, and just I love Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, and I love The Lonely Island.
Good. Okay, what is a film that you once loved, but watching it now you realize it's terrible? I wrote a few. I have The Last Song with Miley Cyrus, that and Liam Hemsworth.
Yes.
It was good when I watched it, and now it's just bad, and people post clips on TikTok, and I'm like, ooh.
Is it?
I put Baby Driver. Now, hear me out. I remember watching Baby Driver and it being this like whole big thing. I don't actually remember what the movie was about. Like, I could not tell you. I know that he drives a car and he has headphones because he has a ringing in his ear, and he falls in love with Lily James.
Yeah, I think he's
he in question shall not be named. But
yeah,
I remember watching it. I don't remember too much about what it actually had in it. And then I think I rewatched it like a year ago maybe, and I was like, is this that good? Like, everyone was raving. Everyone was going absolutely berserk crazy for this movie. Yeah. And I was like,
I literally remember the day that I watched this. It was so weird. I was like in some sort of like, I was in my film type beat, because I was literally sitting at my desk for like 4 hours. I watched this, and then I watched Disaster Artist, and then I watched all of these things like in a row, just sitting, not even in my bed, in my desk, and just like sitting with my computer on my lap. It was very weird, but
I also put the Divergent movies because they were just good, but now they're not good to me anymore.
Yeah,
what are yours? Go.
Baby Driver, interesting. I don't even remember what it was about either. But I wrote Call Me By Your Name because it was good in the moment, and like obviously visually beautiful.
It's still one of my favorites. Sorry.
But it's like after kind of like looking at it from like a realistic perspective, it kind of scares me.
Well, okay, yes, I understand. Yeah. And then I say I'm not invalidating your opinions. I'm just saying that I think that, to me, I just still love it. I love it for how I felt in the moment, and I will remember that forever.
Yeah. And then also, same freaking thing. There was also a time where the first time I watched Call Me By Your Name, I also watched like 3 other movies all in one sitting, just like sitting at some dining room table at like my cousin's house. I don't even remember. I also wrote Crazy Rich Asians because it was so good, obviously. But like, why are we only showing like East Asians? Like, there's literally Asia, freaking massive. Giant. It's literally huge. But literally every single Asian person in it is an East Asian. Yeah. I will always have qualms with films like that. And then one of my favorite movies ever was Now You See Me, like the first and second one. And like, they were good, but like, why was I holding on to...
Just that one scene with the card and the...
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's a good scene.
And like, that's Dave Franco, right? Dave Franco was cute in it.
The not bad one.
Yeah. But like, it was good, but why was I holding on to it for so long?
Okay. We have a lot of questions. Okay, what's the film that means the most to you? Not because of the film itself, but because of the memories you have of it. Love, Rosie.
Duh.
I also have Stuck in Love on here too, because I think that is, I mean, it's the reason we started this podcast. Yeah. So I think now I'll remember that film as something that like kind of started, you know, something crazy. But Love, Rosie, I don't really remember exactly when I first watched it, but I think when I watched it at least like 6 times over again. Like I could not watch anything else because there was just something about seeing. It's the Normal People effect, where it's you see the normal people. Well, it's the Love, Rosie effect because Love, Rosie came out first. Yeah. But the Love, Rosie, Normal People effect is seeing these people grow up from high school into college, into, you know, future lives, their careers, and, you know, seeing how they go in and out of each other's lives. And I think I'm not going to get that because I didn't got no one in high school like that. So I think it's the longing for having that type of relationship that kind of spans a long period of time that I think still gets me. It still gets me.
Yeah.
That's mine.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just like every other teenage girl that's living right now, I have also well, Izzy is the exception because she's different. I wrote Lady Bird, but not because of like, obviously because I feel like I relate to it and that kind of stuff. But then it's so interesting because and then it kind of goes into the same thing though. Like, I have had different people in my life have watched it and then be like, prior to me watching it, where I was like, Maddie, you need to watch this because it's literally you. It's that kind of thing. And then it's like a movie that I know my mom also really likes. And then prior to Matthew and I dating, like we were talking about movies and that kind of stuff. And he was like, he literally was like, have you ever heard of this movie? And I was like, yeah. But that was like we have watched like many movies over the span of our relationship, which I think is so silly, and this was one of them that we watched together, and it's just so good.
No, it's a good memory.
It's a very good memory.
If you're tuning in now, Welcome to Girls on Film Radio with Izzy and Maddie. Follow us on Instagram at Girls on Film Radio. We are also live streaming on YouTube on Chapman Radio. We love having everyone watch us do our fun facial expressions on YouTube. Next, what is the sexiest film? This was a tough question for me to answer because I was thinking, okay, 50 Shades of Grey. What about it? But to me, like the sexiest film, it doesn't mean the most sex.
No,
it means the chemistry and the like, I don't know, just the vibes.
It's the build up, and like for me, it has to not obviously like be sexy in that like sort of like sexual way, but also like if it's like sensual in any sort of way, that's what like makes it.
Yeah, and my answer, Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing's so sexy. I'm telling you, the dancing, the music, the like sweat, the dance club, that dance club. Whew.
No, it's
so.
My seat just went down. No. It's
so
just and it's just really cute too.
Well, your answer is even better, I think.
Okay, the way that I wrote this was Cruel Intentions. Well, then in parentheses I wrote sus in all caps. I remember
that's sus.
No, it's Cruel Intentions is so sus, but I think it's probably one of the most sexy movies that I've ever seen.
Fair.
That kissing scene between Selma Blair and what's her name? Oh my God, Reese Witherspoon. I am so sorry. No, and I'm only saying it's sus because obviously like the stepbrother stepsister thing is a freaking weird. Yeah. But the whole thing is just like
it's Cruel Intentions. If you haven't seen it, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. So and I think it both very much have like not just the tone and like not just sex, but like sensual, and that's what it needs for it to be like the top.
Okay, what film do you relate to the most? I put a few because I don't think there's one movie that can encompass everything that you relate to. But number one, High School Musical. Now, I don't want to be that girl that says I relate to Troy Bolton, but I do because I tried to balance volleyball in high school, or volleyball and theater in high school. Yeah. And I did it for a bit and then I failed. So Troy Bolton did it. I don't know how he did it. It's kind of really hard. So that aspect, I think that's why I like High School Musical so much. My second answer, which I think is a lot more very much Izzy, like I think the whole movie encompasses, is Booksmart. We talked about this last episode. I love Booksmart. I felt like I was those girls being studious and whatever, and then having a fun summer, which I didn't really get to do that much of, but it's just, I don't know. I relate to those characters a lot. I think if I had to describe, or I had to pick a movie that encompassed my life the best, it would be Booksmart. Yeah. And I also put La La Land because I'm a film student. Like I can't help it.
I've never seen it.
I know, because you don't like musicals. It's like you need to watch it. We'll have an Interstellar La La Land.
I'm just gonna cringe the whole time.
You're
even
not.
Though I know I should like it, I probably will like it in the end. I just like
it can be your third musical that you've ever liked.
It like this is me. Can't watch it.
Okay, go.
Okay, same as Izzy. Obviously,
Booksmart?
like Booksmart. Actually, High School Musical is probably one of the earliest movies I've also seen.
Well,
just to go back to that top question a long time ago. Anyways. And then also Lady Bird, I just said that. And then I also put To All the Boys because I feel like
the first one,
Laura,
not the other ones.
No, I think Laura Jean's pining just consistently is very relatable, especially for like a young teenage girl.
And if you tell me that first movie's bad, it's because you're affected by the second and third movies.
No,
the first movie is good.
Smacked. It was
the
so
first
cute.
movie is good, and I will stand up to it because
really
it is good. Imagine Noah Centineo isn't himself, and you're fine.
Yeah, like literally. Imagine it's any other of your like favorite male celebrity and it's like literally perfect, dead ass. But like, and then also with her being like cute and Asian and like doing all that stuff, it was very relatable and just like, it was
good. This is we had a little discussion about this before. What is objectively the greatest film ever? Now, before we talk about the greatest film ever, I know the film bros aren't listening. I know they're angry with us.
No, it's only the girls.
It's only the girls and the gays.
Girls,
and the parents.
And boyfriend.
Matthew. Yeah.
Matthew.
But the greatest film ever to me, I was also talking about this at work. What does the greatest film have to be the greatest film ever? I don't know if it's audience opinion or if it's cinematography or if it's mise en scène, as my film teachers would say. To me, I think the greatest film ever is if you asked a sample size of the entire world, if they've seen this movie and if they had anything bad to say about it, they would not have anything bad to say about it. That movie to me is Ratatouille. I went through Letterboxd and I was like, The Dark Knight, some people aren't going to like that. Some people don't like Shawshank Redemption. Some people don't like Citizen Kane. Some people don't like The Godfather, Goodfellas, whatever. Yeah. Because even though those are technically the best movies ever made, there's people that don't like them.
Yeah.
Ratatouille, I gotta tell you, I have not met one person that has said something bad about Ratatouille.
Yeah.
It is a good movie. Whether you think it's just good, it was a good Disney film, or it's one of your favorite animations ever, everyone loves it, I think. Try and send a person over to me. Find someone. I dare you all to find someone who doesn't like Ratatouille, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just, I don't know,
You're
all good across the board. And then same thing with this answer, but I think this one is a little less across the board.
Well, also it is way newer.
That's true.
Okay, so mine
Recency theory.
because I did the same thing as Izzy. We're so annoying.
We're so Letterboxd.
No,
Letterboxd babes.
This is literally so
Can we be
annoying.
sponsored by Letterboxd?
Hey, but I also went through my letterbox and was like, half my movies are dumb stuff that I just like watch in passing.
Yeah.
Then the other half is like the movies that everyone has watched and is critically acclaimed. Then I watch it, and then it's like, where's like
the middle?
It's not even the. I guess kind of if you consider like animated movies for kids, and therefore I should not be watching it.
Yeah.
I wrote Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse because, and then the point that Izzy was saying is that like not all people would come to like a general consensus about it. I said that because it's way newer to Ratatouille, there's obviously not gonna be like, you know, then I think people also love Ratatouille because they have like nostalgia for it, and
I think it comes with time.
Yeah, it comes with time, and I think.
But I don't think I've talked to someone who didn't like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, but I know a lot of people just didn't watch it in general because they're not Marvel people.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies that you don't have to be a Marvel person.
You don't have to be a Marvel person. And
is it more fun? Yeah, but
I was just like looking through all the reviews of all like not only just the general reviews by like everyone, but like also all of my friends, me included. It's all like 5 stars. Yeah. All of us have given it 5 stars because it's good. Literally,
it's good. It's perfect.
So good. It's so perfect. It's so engaging, and like it's the right amount of maximalism because you can definitely overstep and like it's too much.
And I think it has to do with animation for some reason because we realize that animated movies, I guess, have a more across the board like love. Like The Lion King, I guess you could say, is loved across the board too. But like I don't know what it is about animation. I think it's not having someone's face attached to a role that, you know, could destroy the image of it.
It's like the anonymity. Of it all.
Yeah.
Of it all.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah.
Okay, next question. Second to last. Which is the film that you've watched the most? I'm surprised by your answer, actually. But my answer is The Corpse Bride. Are we surprised? No. It's just my comfort movie. I think I put it on a lot just to, you know, put in the background. It was on HBO Max for a bit. It was on Netflix for a bit, and I just follow it wherever it goes because
that's a very cute.
I don't know. It's the one comfort movie that I have no like issues with. I guess I could also say Fantastic Mr. Fox. I've watched that like way too many times, but I don't know. Like Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't rewatch that movie every day because I would get emotionally distraught
too.
Yeah,
that it's like an easy watch.
Yeah,
also because you watch it so many times.
And it's also
like,
a musical.
I'm in pain.
Okay, yours.
But I said
this
mine.
Is surprising.
Really, mine is Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's because it's like not only because I just think of all of like the new era of like Spider-Man. This was my favorite, and it continually will always be my favorite Spider-Man movie. I think I watched it in theaters like 6 times.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
No, I am being completely dead ass. I saw it opening night at like midnight with my family.
Okay.
And then, like, I remember for just, like, the following weeks, I saw it at least, like, once a week. And it's just, like, I feel like, when did this come out? Was it when we were in, like, high school? Was it, like, early high school or, like, late middle school?
Let's look.
I think it was just,
2017.
I think it was just, like, so, like, freshman year of high school. I just feel like at this time in my life, I was just, like, so excited and just, like, generally happy all the time that all of these emotions are connected to it. And
memories connected to movies.
Yeah, and it was, like, a transition period in my life where I was, like, leaving my middle school, so, like, all the friends that I grew up with, and then, like, meeting all these new people. And, like, I was seeing this movie with both groups. So it was, like, not only that, and then I was also seeing it with my family, and then I was also able to see it at home. And then it was just, like, I've seen it a lot. And it's just so cute. I love that. It was like it was such a good way to introduce him officially to like it all. Yeah. Tom, and if you don't know who I'm talking about in terms of Tom Holland,
Sorry.
And this was like
now that
my
you explain
fangirl
it,
era.
It makes sense now that you explain it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I lied. Second to last question. What's the worst film you've ever seen? The worst one. So I did not know the answer to this because I've ranked a lot of films, but also so little in the grand scheme of things. It's hard for me to not enjoy a movie. Like, if I see your purpose, I'll give you whatever points. But my lowest ranked film on Letterboxd is He's All That. it came up as my lowest ranked and then the lowest ranked across the board out of my lowest ranked. He's All That with Addison Rae. The first movie I watched in film school. It is the first movie. Me, Caroline, Emma, and Zoe watched it in Caroline's dorm on her computer.
That is not.
We were sitting 5 feet away from it. Could barely see the screen.
That's funny.
So bad. It is genuinely probably the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Like, worst thing my eyes have laid upon. You know what I'm saying?
I have not watched it.
No.
I saw literally. Okay,
You saw the horse shit clip.
No, I took film. Izzy's taking film so
yes.
At Dodge, as a Dodge student, you're supposed to take this class called Intro to Film Aesthetics, and I took it last semester, so first semester of college, and then Izzy's taking it now. Literally, it was one of like the first Dodge classes I ever had ever. We literally started it off, and my professor literally was showing us clips from the movie.
He saw that?
Yes.
For what?
No,
Why?
I think at that point it had just come out, so it was like, how am I gonna relate to the students that are coming in? Which I totally get, but like. From what I was saying, and like we were watching that same entrance scene of like her and her house like over and over and over again, and I was like, oh my god, I'm over this. But I have not seen it, and I don't have any. It does not appeal to me. No. Even prior to all of the bad press it has had and bad reviews, I had no interest.
I think
in it.
everyone hate watched it, but that's my lowest ranked movie, I guess. Yours?
Mine? Okay,
I don't even know what this is. I looked at it. I
was so excited. Okay, so my movie is Hotel Artemis, and I think. I don't remember what year it came out.
Jodie Foster.
It was.
Is it animation?
No, it's like an actual film. So it came out in 2018. I was so excited for it because this cast is crazy. I love Charlie Day because I obviously love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Freaking Jeff Goldblum is in it. Sophia Botella's in it, who was also in Kingsman
Mummy?
And Mummy, yeah. Dave Bautista's in it. Freaking Sterling K. Brown is in it. Jodie Foster's in it. This cast was literally insane. It's so good. And then the movie was and Jenny Slate. I love Jenny Slate and I love Charlie Day. They're two
and
of
Zachary
my favorite.
Quintin. Sorry.
Yes. This cast is insane. Like Charlie Day and Jenny Slate are two of my favorite celebrities, two of my favorite actors ever in the world. This movie was so ass. It was so boring. I was so disappointed. I'm reading through like the Letterboxd like reviews and stuff, and some person said that it literally is just like completely lackluster. There's like no tension. There's like nothing to look forward to throughout the whole thing. There's just like
so
nothing.
Sad.
Basically, yeah. So like
they have stupid character names too, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to look it up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna read. Yeah. As rioting rocks Los Angeles in the year 2028, disgruntled thieves make their way into Hotel Artemis, a 13-story members-only hospital for criminals. It's operated by the nurse, Jodie Foster, a no-nonsense high-tech healer who has already had her hands full with a French assassin, an arms dealer, and an injured cop. As the violence of the night continues, a nurse must decide whether to break her own rules and confront what she's worked so hard to avoid.
Fun fact, the little boy in this is the little boy in Euphoria. The little Angus Cloud.
Oh, his little freckles, yep.
Yeah,
but... So
that
disappointing.
Sounds like it could be interesting.
Exactly. It looked so good, and like
the photos look cool too.
Yeah, and the photos look cool, and freaking Jeff Goldblum's in it, and like all this stuff was awesome. And then it was actually so
It seems like a Nicolas Cage movie.
No, like can they please remake it and make it better? Like how could you bring Jeff Goldblum onto a project and it be a complete and utter flop? That it was
a shame,
an actual shame. Like, it still makes me sad and mad now.
Dang. Okay. Last question of the day. What is the film that literally made you laugh out loud the most? I have multiple answers for this, and Maddie has 0. So I'm going to go.
Yeah.
But why didn't you have 0 first?
Okay.
Why do you have 0?
I feel like it's so weird for me because my specific type, like, of humor to make me, like, laugh out loud, like, laugh out loud is not going to be stuff that's going to be, like, meticulously written. It's stuff that's happening in the moment that makes me, like, pee my pants because I feel like
more like sitcom.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not gonna see that in a movie. And then good thing I just like mentioned Charlie Day. Like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like one of those things that literally makes me laugh out loud, pee my pants every time I watch any episode ever. Okay. Whereas like for films, I think it's too highly like edited and like meticulously made that it's too like on point. Things are just hit on the like they hit the nail on the head too good. Okay. Am I saying that my humor is just bad? No. Maybe, but like I don't.
You're a strict critic.
Yeah, and I think it's because I don't know, like for something to be I think of all movies, like comedy is always going to be one that like I prioritize over like a drama maybe. I don't even know. not because it makes me laugh, but because I feel like those kinds of stories are the ones that make me interested as a viewer the most.
Okay.
But I don't really have like any that like concretely make me like pee my pants laughing.
To me, I guess I'm the opposite. I do not watch comedy movies. Like it's not for me. I need emotional drama. I need, sad, and I need deep conversations, and I don't know. It's rare for a comedy movie to like hit me so hard that I'm laughing on laughing on the floor. But these three made me laugh and cry and spit and pee everywhere. Monty Python and the Holy Grail has to be one of my favorites of all time. There's something about that scene with the guy getting his legs chopped off and like the coconuts and the horse. I don't know. It's like stupid comedy. It's like the point is that it's so stupid that it just doesn't make any sense. It's great.
No, yeah.
A classic. I would call
classic,
it a classic.
yeah.
I love it. Palm Springs.
Yeah, duh, Andy Samberg.
I loved Palm Springs. I watched it because I was like, everyone was talking about it. I was like, ugh, I'm not going to like this. It's a comedy Groundhog Day.
No, but this is like one of the only ones that's redeeming. Like, it is so good.
So funny.
It's really funny.
Andy Samberg. And what's her name?
That one girl with the big eyes.
Palm Springs. Palm Springs.
It's a contemporary take on the Groundhog Day thing, which they've kind of tried to do with like Happy Death Day,
Milioti,
and that kind of stuff. But this one was
it's Groundhog Day, but it's at a wedding and in Palm Springs. Clearly.
And it's like the weirdest twist happens at the end, but no one questions it.
It's like
because
it's out of this world, literally.
No, literally.
No, it's great. And then this one, The Disaster Artist. We talked about this earlier. What is it about Zac Efron and Peter? What's his name? Josh Hutcherson.
Is he?
They're in that scene at the end, or while they're filming the film, and Zac Efron plays like the big beefy dude, and then Josh Hutcherson's like the little tiny guy. They're in it for 5 minutes, and I'm like,
I did not hit her. I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh,
hi, Mark. That my stepdad and I say that to each other all the time.
Yes, it's such a funny movie. Wish that it was not cast the way it was.
Well, it was made by them, right?
Yeah, they did make it, and they did do it perfectly. But again, I'm separating the art from the disaster artist. It's great. I thought it was hilarious. Something about things about movies make me laugh more.
I think for this one in particular, it's like the more outrageous the story is, you're not gonna have to like fake anything. Like if you just make it as completely have as
absurd.
Much clarity with it as possible and make it like as close to the T of it, like the actual story and presenting it. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it's because I also think that a lot of jokes are super predictable.
Yeah, I get it.
Whereas, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I just can't stop talking about it. It's like that kind of humor is like, so absurd and like ridiculous that it's like you're not. And it came out at a time where like they could literally say anything and like no one was gonna question it. So it has very problematic humor, but it's like good, so good. At least it's good. Yeah. If they use it at the expense of like other people and it's not good, then it's a waste. Yeah. But
that was our Films to Be Buried With episode. I really liked that one. That was fun.
That was really good, and we timed it very well.
Yes. Thank you, Brett Goldstein, for coming up with the cool podcast idea that we totally copied for this episode. We love you. Everyone go watch Ted Lasso if you haven't. But that was Films to Be Buried With. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening and also is watching us on YouTube, who got to see our pretty faces today. Follow us on Instagram, @GirlsOnFilmRadio.
We have 5 more weeks of school left?
Yeah.
5 more episodes.
So little.
That's insane, everyone. Concretely, if any of you actually want to hear us talk about or discuss any specific thing, please let us know at Girls on Film on Radio.
We want ideas.
Yeah, because we're running low. But
yes. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This is how it should be done.
Popping the hits non-stop in the mix.
Procedure.
Now on the all-new Chapman Radio.
Hi, I'm Jason.
I'm Matt, and we're the hosts of Sub Club on Chapman